Wow, guys, CNN host Caitlin Collins just got destroyed by Jim Jordan. You guys gotta check this video out.
Question, but the way to solve this is for Chuck Schumer to open the government, for Chuck Schumer to vote for what he did 6 months ago, and then you don't have to deal with this question. But where I come from, question, but the way to solve this is for Chuck Schumer to open the government, for Chuck Schumer to vote for what he did 6 months ago, and then you don't have to deal with this question. But where I come from, if the truck driver's not driving a truck, he doesn't get paid. If the guy who hangs drywall is not hanging drywall, he doesn't get paid. So I think that's a different question than certainly the people who are working every day during this shutdown caused by Chuck Schumer. But the question is moot if Chuck Schumer would simply do what he did 6 months ago, do the common sense thing, vote for the level of spending that he and all the other Democrats agreed to just a few months ago.
So your stance is if you're going to work, you should get paid.
Certainly.
If you're at home, you should not get paid.
Well, I think that, no, what I'm saying is that's how most Americans see it, I believe, but it's a moot question.
So right there, guys, I want you to pay attention to that one question because that's going to shape this whole entire interview. I literally want to know what you guys think about that down low in the comments because I'm ready to have a conversation. Let's go back and let's make sure we catch that.
A few months ago.
So your stance is if you're going to work, you should get paid.
Certainly.
If you're at home, you should not get paid.
Well, I think that, no, what I'm saying is that's how most Americans see it, I believe, but it's a moot question if the Democrats will just do the right thing, if Chuck Schumer will just say, we're going to open the government. I voted for it 6 months ago. I mean, the real debate here
But actually, is it a moot point because they've already gone 1 week without getting paid, and if you're someone who's furloughed, which is you're told not to come to work, you're not choosing not to go to work, and you know some of these, 1 in 6 Americans lives paycheck to paycheck, and that probably includes federal workers.
And Caitlin, the easiest way for this to all get the easiest remedy is the one that Chuck Schumer voted for 6 months ago. Open up the government. Open up the government. The real debate here is between Chuck Schumer and himself. 6 months ago, he picked common sense. Today, he's picking the radical left. 6 months ago, he voted for the level of spending. He won't do it today because, frankly, as we all know, he's nervous about the left, particularly AOC in a primary in a couple of years. So
I want to talk about Chuck Schumer, but this is actually a debate for these federal workers who have nothing to do with what's happening between Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill. They're caught in the middle of this, and they didn't bring on this shutdown. So why should they have to suffer and not get their back paid?
They don't have to suffer. Chuck Schumer opens the government. If Democrats
That's a thing to me that makes no sense. Now these people that voted for it are acting like they never voted for it in the past. They're pretending that they were not choosing common sense because they're scared AOC might tweet about it. They're scared AOC might just tweet about it. That right there, man, doesn't make sense. That's just pathetic.
will open the government if they will vote for.
But if it opens tomorrow, they went a week without pay, right?
And President, I think they get paid. But I think the president's saying if this goes on, maybe there's this question he's going to debate it, going to look at it. The other thing you got to keep in mind is, what are they supposed to do? A $37 trillion debt, and the Democrats refuse to open the government? What are they supposed to do? So I think that's the other thing you got to look at, and I think, frankly, that's how most, again, Americans who have common sense view the whole situation.
Yeah, but the debt has been there. It's been a problem in past government shutdowns, and the president signed that bill in 2019 to restore back pay for all these federal workers then. And you voted yes on that, actually.
And he may, in fact, do the same thing now. All I'm saying is the easiest way to make sure this is not a concern for any people who are working or people who are furloughed, is for the Democrats to open the government.
But actually, when the bill was signed back in 2019 during that last shutdown, it wasn't just for that shutdown, it was for future shutdowns, so federal workers wouldn't get caught in this dispute between Republicans and Democrats.
Okay, fine. That's fine. That's what was signed back then. I think the same thing could happen this time. We'll see. But we know it's not a problem if the Democrats will do the right thing, the common sense thing, instead of saying, oh, I'm going to do what the hard left is demanding our party do, fight President Trump at every single turn. This is so darn simple. You voted for it 6 months ago. What's the difference now? Oh, I mean, I like what the vice president said. They're saying we're going to shut down the government because we're concerned about a policy difference that doesn't take effect for 3 months. Well, then open up the government. We don't have to worry about this question.
So if your position is what they voted for 6 months ago, they should vote again for now, right?
Well, yeah, I think it's pretty clear on funding the government.
Okay, so you voted in 2019 that federal workers who are furloughed should get their back pay. So why is your position different now?
It's not different now. It depends on what the president decides to do, and then what we pick up as Congress.
But it's all a federal law, actually.
All I'm saying is most Americans say if you're working, you should get paid. If you're not, that's a different question. Now, in the past,
but that's not the law you signed. You didn't say when you voted yes on this that you voted for in 2019. You didn't say the caveat if they're
You could tell Caitlin Collins is looking for the gotcha moment, like always. She's literally pointing at him while she's asking. But you did say, whenever someone talks like that, you know exactly what they're trying to imply. They think they caught you up. That's exactly what she's doing. But you did say, like, she thinks she has one, but I'm telling you, Jim Jordan is not that guy. He's just not that guy. He's going to show you that you're wrong.
Working, they get paid. It said all furloughed workers get paid.
I'm just commenting on what the president said, and I think the easiest way to remedy this is what I've said now several times. Chuck Schumer, open up the government.
Yeah, but I'm talking about what you voted for. So if your position is still then it's that furloughed workers who aren't going to the office
And we may, in fact, vote for that again, because I think it would take a change in the law to undo what we did back in 19.
Okay, so on these subsidies that you're talking about, that's what Democrats are basically saying is their chief demand here. They expire soon. You do have people in your district who are in the Obamacare marketplace. I think it's about 36,000 of them, unless you have a different number. Do you believe that the subsidies should be extended so premiums don't go up?
I think what we got to focus on is Chuck Schumer opening the government up, and then we can deal with that question. What I do know about Obamacare is everything they told us about Obamacare a decade ago when they passed this thing turned out to be false. They told us that, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan. They told us if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. They told us premiums will go down. I think the President Obama actually said premiums will go down on average $1,500. They were 0 for 4. Everything they told us turned out to be false. And then what they did back at the start of COVID, they said, we're going to expand Obamacare. Everything we told you about was false, but we're going to expand it with this enhanced tax credit, this subsidy. And then again, they renewed it and said, we're not only going to expand it, we're going to extend it. And now they want to extend it again. And Hakeem Jeffries said 1 year is not enough. We got to do it for 2 years, or we're not even going to discuss anything. So I think that's the history. And I think, again, most people in our district, most people in the 4th District of Ohio, most Americans around the country think that makes no sense. Let's figure out how we can do health care better for all Americans. Let's not keep subsidizing, expanding, and extending Obamacare when, again, when you look at what they told us, it all turned out to be false.
So you're against extending the subsidies?
Yeah, I think that's a problem. I think we should look for other ways to improve health care for Americans, for families, and do it at a cheaper cost.
What could you do in the next 3 months that would change
Let's
that?
Let's have that debate, but right now we can't.
Senator Bernie Sanders, I think, would like to have that debate with you. He
let's
agrees
have
the
that debate. We're for health savings accounts. We're for empowering people. We're for catastrophic health plans, making it easier access to those. We're for all those things that we think empower people and patients, not insurance companies, not hospitals, we're for doing that, empowering people.
Yeah, but Republicans who have wanted to get rid of Obamacare for so long, you're one of them. You said the subsidies before you believed were illegal. They have never introduced a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare. So I think most Americans who are saying open enrollment starts November 1st don't have faith that you're going to change that in the next 6 weeks.
So the remedy, so you think the remedy is just keep extending a program that has driven up premiums?
No, I'm asking what the
didn't
change should
meet
be.
any of the statements that the proponents of it made didn't come true, and we just need to keep expanding and extending and extending and expanding.
That's not what I said. I asked what your replacement is, because
I'm for all those. I'm for health savings accounts. I'm for easier access to catastrophic plans. I'm for all kinds of things that will help families actually have more control, more decision making in the process. And by the way, the subsidy, 40% of the people don't even use it, and the individual Americans don't know. It goes directly to the insurance company, and many of those people have never had a claim. That is a concern with how this thing works. So the Democrats' plan is let's extend it another 2 years. Well, that makes no sense. Let's have a debate on how we can do health care better.
So that's true that it goes to the insurance companies, but that helps keep the premiums low because it pays off the balance, basically. And the concern, disagree or agree with the subsidies themselves, is that if premiums jump, people can't afford it. They don't have health care. And then the burden on people who are sick and need that coverage is higher.
I tell you what the Democrats want. The Democrats want health care for people who are non-citizens. That's driving up health care costs, too.
Don't change the
She doesn't want to talk about that.
subject from the subsidies.
No, the subject is you're talking about health care, and all I know is Maxine Waters said we want health care for illegal immigrants.
But I'm talking about the subsidies
every single Democrat
Congressman.
presidential candidate back in 2020, they asked him how many of you will support health care for people who are non-citizens, for illegal immigrants. Everyone on stage raised their hand. Kamala Harris raised her hand. Joe Biden raised his hand. Pete Buttigieg, they all raised their hand. That's what they're for. That's what they want here in this bill.
But that's
You can't even afford your own doctor, right? But these people are trying to bring the people that came over illegally in front of you. That's the only problem that Americans have with the Hispanic people. It's not that it's not that we don't like them, we're racist. The only problem is if you come into a line, you don't automatically move to the front. You don't automatically move to the front. Life has never worked like that. They've taught me that when I was a kid, right? But you're telling me I have to pay more for healthcare just so someone that came to this country illegally can get it before me. They keep telling you Trump divides America. No. Stupidity divides America. And the truth just keeps exposing it. Just think about that. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And as always, let me know what you react to. We're out.